To Las Vegas, Nevada. Today we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here, as it'll be the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And able to get this out to the 25. They'll run for the first time with Ashton Jeanty. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
Let's go. Warriors 70, 70 Timberwolves.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
Cole now on to punt, and he sends this one away. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Looking to put a drive together. They'll start on the ground with Benson. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22. You look at this Raiders defense. They enter play 1 from the bottom, number 31 in the league, Charles, against the run.
And that's been an Achilles heel for them all season long, being able to play against the run, being able to slow teams down. But it's not just that. When you give up big chunks of yardage in the running game, it also opens up the passing options for the team you're playing as well. So typically, when you don't play the run well, you're getting hit in all phases.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
Hey, Hawk 70, Hawk 70. Warriors 70.
They'll try to run for it with Benson. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 36-yard line.
Off play action. Franklin. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage after it.
It's got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, exactly right. What's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
Panthers 1918. Go.
They'll run for the first time here with Brown. And he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard.
He's brought down at the 30.
The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down on his play sheet, trying to dial up a big 3rd down play.
It's complete to Brown, right side. And he is going to have a Bengals first down. He needed 5. He got it barely, as it will officially go down as a gain of 5 yards.
Bengals first down. A gain of 5. First down, Bengals.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Over the middle, the catch made by Mitchell. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So the big gain, all for naught for the offense. That yellow flag is going to bring it back.
Oh, what a tough look for the offense, because they see all that yardage lost and that ball's walked back and then some behind the original line of scrimmage.
On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete. We look at this Raiders defense coming into this one ranked number 19 in the NFL against the pass.
And even though that's not the greatest ranking in the world, one thing you can say, they get after the quarterback. They're in the top 10 in the league in sacks.
They will toss to Brown. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
Well, it's almost football 101 that you preach to your safeties. Don't let anyone get behind you. You're the last line of defense. But he didn't let the play come to him. He went to the play. How about that read and recognition and finishing off that one behind the line of scrimmage?
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. It's DJ Turner who's got it. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
19 Tiger, 19 Tiger.
They'll run on first down with Moss. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly. And that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And running with power here. Touchdown, Bengals. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bengals are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point splits the uprights. And the lead grows to 10-0. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line.
Their own 25-yard line.
The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Yeah, this one not going anywhere. They get it at the 44 for a gain of just a yard. The Raiders at 4-3, a game over 500. And they've lost 3 straight here. And it kind of goes without saying, I guess, but they could certainly use a win.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There's a difference between a losing stretch and a losing streak. And right now, they're not playing their best football, but if they were to fall here, and now you're looking at going 4 games without a win, things can start compounding themselves pretty quickly from this point forward.
First and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Now a play fake here on first down. And his throw here is incomplete.
One of the great coaches said football is a really simple game. Rush theirs, protect yours. And he's talking about those guys throwing the football. In this situation, the rush won, hitting the quarterback and forcing him into an incompletion.
And second and 10, he'll look to throw again.
And he's only hit on 2 of his first 6 passes. Time for a quick quarterback regroup here with a big third down coming up.
And 10 yards to go.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
Ready? 60 Bison, 6 Panther 11, Panther 11. Ready?
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Shamar Stewart. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. They're looking sharp, out early to a 10-zip lead and looking for more as they've got it 1st and 10. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports.
Brings up 2nd and 2.
Start of the second quarter, and it's the Bengals in control of the football as they've got it with a 2nd down and 2 coming up. And they'll send the tight end in motion left. Off the play fake. Franklin. Open man down the field. This is Mitchell. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 49-yard line.
The 49-yard line.
70 Timberwolves.
A give up the middle with Benson. It's a solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. 11 more on that one and another 1st down.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense, and on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. This one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it, and it's 2nd down.
So it looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But this defense gets 2 more stops. They can keep them out of that area.
19, charge, go!
He finds his man complete. It's Contreras. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down.
Panther 60, Panther 60, Panther 60, Panther 60.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So they get to 3. It was 4th and 1, and I think you were doing what I was doing. I was looking down at the sideline. I'm not sure the offensive unit wanted the 3. They wanted to go for it.
But when have we ever seen a unit that didn't want to go for it in that situation, right? Sometimes it's just way more important to have the points on the board than to worry about any type of a gamble.
And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. They find themselves down 13-0 here as they try to get things started offensively. 1st and 10. And that is not fooling anyone. He never had a chance to turn the corner there, and they'll go backwards right away. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Up the middle, it's Genty. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive.
Hawk 70, Hawk 70.
From the gun on 3rd down, Callahan. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this drive will start in enemy territory as that gets out of bounds on this side of the 50.
At the 49-yard line.
Throwing to start the drive. Franklin towards the middle and caught by Musgrave. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And it's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 44-yard line.
Here we go, here we go. Liking it.
Off the bootleg. Franklin. And he'll be hit as he releases it. And that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. From the gun on 3rd down, Franklin. And a 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Jamar Chase, 44 yards. As his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Point after, right down the middle. And that pushes the lead up to an even 20. The kicking team out now for the Bengals as they'll send this one away. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
I know, but let me finish.
Okay,
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try to put some points on the board.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. From the 38 now, here comes 2nd and 8. Looking to throw. Callahan. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first-half scores just like this one.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 45-yard line.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Let's go.
Run straight ahead with Genty. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. 2nd and 13. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Josh Hines-Allen with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7.
For the Raiders.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Yeah, he was looking for the check-up bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles' defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Hawk 70, Hawk 70.
Operating from the gun, Franklin. That's to the tight end, Musgrave. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
Warrior 70.
They'll run on 3rd down with Brown. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a first down.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
60 Bison, 60 Bison. 30.
Back to throw. Franklin. Has this complete to Daniel Bellinger. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Off play action. Franklin. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is 3rd down.
70 Timberwolf. Check, Bobcat, check, Bobcat. Ready, right?
Operating from the gun, Franklin. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go over the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
So that, Charles, a season long right there.
And you know who's really excited about that? The special teams coordinator, because he's the one who has to tell the head coach in pregame, this is where we trust him from. This distance, he can hit it, and he repaid that trust by knocking that one right through.
And he won't quite make it to the 25.
At their own 24-yard line.
The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot. If they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on first down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And it's a fumble. And the Bengals grab it. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. And a little careless there, Charles, on that carry.
And it's not just having two hands on the ball. It's tucking it away. It's using your body to keep people shielded off. There's so many different things into taking care of it and having ball security. In that case, though, we didn't see it happen.
Raiders, nothing.
The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they've got the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
Second down, 8 to go from the 28.
Here we go, set. Ready.
Looking to throw. Franklin. It's caught. Mitchell. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
First down. A gain of 16 yards. First down, Cincinnati.
Hawk 70, Hawk 70.
On first down, it's Benson. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they establish that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead because they're leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
On first down, right back to Benson. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Let's go now. Hey, 60 Bison, 60 Bison. Ready.
Off the play fake. Franklin. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
On third down, here's Benson. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. 49 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
So that's what that elbow in my ribs was all about. You thought they were going to throw the ball as well.
Absolutely. I think everybody thought they were throwing the football, caught him off guard.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you have the courage to make that type of a play call, a lot of times you actually get rewarded.
Pass to Bellinger on the crossing route. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Daniel Bellinger, 30 yards. And the Bengals just continue to roll. Extra point laid down the middle. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter.
To kick off.
The kicking team out now for the Bengals as they'll send this one away. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. They'll start on the ground with Genty. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
2nd and 12 at the 20-yard line.
Let's go now.
And here's a handoff out of the gun. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Give him a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
A give out of the gun to Genty. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36. We're just looking at the scoreboard and where we're at in the third quarter. I don't know that it's going to matter much at this point, CD, but these small runs on the ground, they're not going to get it done.
No, they're not. And right now, the guys stopping the run have been superior in this ball game, giving them no openings, no seams, and now they got this game won.
And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Ashton Genty with his 9th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Raiders are able to cut into that deficit. Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. And that'll cut the lead down to 26.
Bengals 33, Raiders 7. Daniel Carlson to kick off for the Raiders.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And that one not returnable, not by a long stretch, over the back line of the end zone, so that's going to be spotted up at the 35-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. Still well in control of this ball game despite giving up that touchdown a moment ago. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down with a nice little gain. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Come on. Set. 70.
Right back to Brown. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times. And what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
70.
3rd down. Here's Brown. And he'll just get back to the line of scrimmage, if that. And with a flag on the field. And that one looks to be in the area where someone was held. Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
Here comes 3rd and the length of the football.
Ready? 18 Cardinal.
In motion, the tight end. From the gun on 3rd down, Franklin. And that's going to be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Here's Ryan Stonehouse now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd.
The Raiders take over 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
Raider offense set to get this drive started. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but, Charles, they look up, and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
And I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
Hands it off out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. The second down play, not much better than the first. Just a gain of 1 there. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Here we go.
Back to throw. Callahan. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the third quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
51 yards on the punt there. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10.
Ready,
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down. The partner still in the third quarter, but they've got this one well in hand and still airing it out with gusto and picking up some nice gains.
And even in lopsided games like this, you don't really see starters get lifted or the foot come off the gas before the fourth quarter. No one wants to leave any doubt when they're playing well. They just want to continue the process.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Max Crosby, the one who got in there for the stop. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it can be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
Looking to throw. Franklin. And not enough on the throw that time as that one is incomplete.
I can assure you, setting up a screen is much more difficult than it appears. It requires excellent timing from everyone on the offense, and the defense's #1 goal is to throw that timing off.
Here's Ryan Stonehouse now as he'll punt it away for the second time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. That'll be out of bounds, and how good was that? They'll say the 3-yard line. That's where they spot it.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
Exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
Let's go now. 60.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Down. 18 Cardinal. Panther 11. Panther 11. Go.
They'll look to throw here on first down. And this one nearly picked off. Kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's second down.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
60 Maverick. 60 Maverick.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Short throw caught by Bowers. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
The Raiders on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. And that will be incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Here's A.J. Cole now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. And it's looking all the more likely that a 5th straight win is going to be in the cards. They'll try to run some time here with a 1st and 10. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 60 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
They'll go again with Benson. And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33. Ball at the 33, 2nd and 9.
65, go street.
They run over center with Benson. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37.
He's brought down
4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down.
Panther 60, Panther 60. Go.
Running right, here's Brown. 12 yards that time and a Cincinnati 1st down.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball. You often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it.
Come on, set.
This is Brown going up the middle. And good work there in open space. And he's got this all the way down now to the 32. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have the 1st down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they turn to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7.
Here we go.
Moss on the give up the middle. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
3rd down and 7.
So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
3rd
down, here's a run by Moss. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They give him 7 yards on the play, and they do pick up the conversion on third down.
Here we go, shot. Ready, ready.
They'll run on first down to Moss. He had to fight that time. Ran through 1 tackle, but ultimately he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge. Well, big man with ball met bigger man on the other side of the line. A really nice play for the defense.
In search of 8 yards on third down. They've already converted 2 of these on this drive, 2 for 2.
Bronco 80.
They'll give this to Moss running right. And they'll get him down right around the 16. Give him 4 yards on the play, and that will lead us into the 2-minute warning. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further. So yet another field goal to end a drive. That has been a very common theme. He's now hit 5 of them in this game.
Yeah, Brandon, as an offense, you hate that you've had to call on your kicker so often, but you have to love the fact that time and time again, he's come through.
And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Ball at the 23, 2nd and 8. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. A Raider first down, 17 yards.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Let's go now.
Let's go, motion, motion.
Keep it going, oh. Ready.
On first down, it's Johnston. And a pretty quick burst there as he gets this across midfield and down to the 46. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Ready. Get up.
On first down, it's Genty. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
Here we go, shot. Hut, hut.
Once again, it's Genty. And he is going to lose yardage here. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
Shut up. Come down there. Have the 60. Have the 60.
So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And we talk so much about the turnover battle determining who wins and who loses. This game, no exception. They didn't turn the ball over at all, and they go on to victory.
They look like a smooth operation in this one, didn't they? Because you look at every facet of the game, they handled their business. Offense took care of the football, converted it into points. Defense took the ball away, gave it back to the offense. Special teams, right there with them. That's the type of game a coach is going to really love and value. And when they show the film, they have to be careful not to give out too many kudos and kill their motivation going forward.
So for Cincinnati, they climb to 6-2 on the year as they close in on the midpoint of this 17-game schedule. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, They drop back to 500 now at 4 up and 4 down. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.